Breaking news today. The president has dismissed the top labor statistics official following a disappointing jobs report, sparking outrage across both political parties. Is this a genuine move for accountability, or are insiders in Washington merely protecting their interests? Stay with us for more updates.
Hello, and welcome to That News Show, where we discuss the latest facts, fakes, and hypocrisy as reported by the legacy media. Let's roll the tape.
SNBC reports that Republican senators are criticizing Trump for dismissing the chief of labor statistics following a disappointing jobs report. Consider this. When have we last seen Republican senators publicly reprimand a Republican president for demanding accountability? It appears that the traditional guardians are now shocked because the president dared to fire a bureaucrat after a poor jobs report. Are we to believe that unelected officials should remain untouchable, regardless of their performance or the extent of underlying issues? Both political sides, which have long urged us to trust the experts, are now protesting. These experts oversaw economic stagnation, open borders, and globalist trade deals that devastated American towns. Yet, when the president takes decisive action, they accuse him of immaturity. Who's truly behaving like an adult here? The president who demands results, or the senators who prefer to maintain the status quo rather than address problems? The core issue isn't just about the dismissal of a bureaucrat, it's about power, who holds it and who wants to keep it from those who might challenge the established order. The Biden-Harris administration oversaw one of the weakest periods of labor participation in recent history, all while preaching about integrity and norms. Now, these same figures are champions of bureaucratic independence. That's hard to swallow. This spectacle is precisely why Americans have lost faith in their institutions. The very people who failed to safeguard your job, your community, your future, are the ones telling the president to remain silent. Perhaps it's time they followed their own advice. You're in for a treat.
By Biden appointee, adding that important numbers like this must be fair and accurate. They can't be manipulated for political purposes, without providing any evidence of his claim. Trump also claimed the numbers were rigged to make Republicans and him look bad, and said he didn't believe the numbers in an interview Friday night.
I think that these numbers were incorrect today. It's a Biden appointee, and we've had problems in the past, and we had problems even before the election.
The integrity of our economic data must go beyond politics, regardless of who is in power. These figures are crucial for businesses, investors, and families trying to navigate the economy. When officials are dismissed following unfavorable reports, it implies that data is only valued when it supports a pre-existing narrative. This practice not only sends the wrong message, but also jeopardizes trust in our institutions, a fundamental issue that go beyond party lines. Frustration with bureaucratic inertia and the politicization of agencies is understandable, especially following years of controversial decisions. The solution is not to politicize these agencies further. Instead, we need increased transparency through clearer methodologies, open audits, and reforms designed to prevent any manipulation of data for political purposes. The current economic situation is complex, influenced by factors like tariffs, labor shortages, and previous open border policies. While efforts to secure the border and repatriate jobs are steps in the right direction, businesses require reliable data to make informed decisions. Using economic statistics as tools for partisan gain not only diminishes their credibility, but also mirrors tactics used by authoritarian regimes, a scenario we must avoid. Restoring faith in our government begins with ensuring economic data is accurate and untainted by political convenience. This issue isn't about protecting bureaucrats or overlooking past errors. It's about elevating our standards, enforcing accountability, and preventing any political party from compromising the integrity of our economic reporting. By doing so, we create a system that serves the American people, not just the political interests in Washington.
Senator, let me start with you, because I think people need to understand who Erica McEntarfer is, the Bureau of Labor Statistics Commissioner who the president fired. She was confirmed to that position in January of 2024 on a bipartisan 86-8 vote in the Senate. And I'm going to read from this poll quote here. Among the Republican senators who voted to confirm her included then Senator J.D. Vance of Ohio, who is now Trump's vice president, and then Senator Marco Rubio of Florida, who, as we all know, is, among other things, Trump's Secretary of State. So, Senator, given who this person is, and given the reason why President Trump fired her, How will we ever be able to trust the jobs numbers going forward?
The removal of the Bureau of Labor Statistics Commissioner, who received overwhelming bipartisan support during confirmation, has sparked a critical debate about the integrity of government functions, particularly the reliability of economic data. The bipartisan support for her initial appointment highlights her role as a non-partisan figure committed to upholding standards. The dismissal of officials following unfavorable economic reports sets a dangerous precedent. It's not just about one administration or a single data set. It's about whether Americans, business owners, workers, and investors can trust the information that influences their decisions. This issue of politicization isn't new. Previous administrations have shown patterns of bureaucratic overreach and selective transparency contributing to public skepticism and a deeper mistrust in government. The controversy reflects years of eroded norms and a federal bureaucracy that too often acts politically rather than as a neutral fact provider. The firing of a commissioner over a disappointing jobs report, especially when based on established methodologies, risks damaging the credibility vital for effective policymaking. Both political parties have played a role in creating this climate of distrust, but the solution lies in institutional reform. We need agencies that are transparent, accountable, and independent of political influence. This situation also underscores the growing disconnect between the political class and the American people, who see vital institutions being used for partisan advantage. This approach, which has neglected American workers for decades, focuses on globalist and establishment agendas rather than policies that bolster national sovereignty, protect American jobs, and ensure government agencies serve the public interest. The broader lesson is that centralized power, whether held by bureaucrats or politicians, poses a risk of abuse. This is why advocates of limited government, robust oversight, and a clear distinction between politics and the technical tasks of agencies like the Bureau of Labor Statistics have long championed these principles. To prevent the manipulation of economic data seen in other countries, we must prioritize transparency, methodological rigor, and accountability across all administrations. As the debate unfolds, we must remember that the integrity of our economic institutions go beyond partisan lines. It's about maintaining the foundation of a free society where citizens can trust the information they receive and make informed decisions. The stakes are too high to let short-term political interests compromise the long-term credibility of our government.
How can we know that the data will be reliable?
Well, I mean, you have to hope that people within this idea that she's sitting there and she gets like all these numbers and does it herself is just ridiculous. We all know that there's been year after year modeling. There has been a whole algorithm devised. I mean, a lot of this is on autopilot, right? And so she's not doing anything other than reporting the numbers.
MSNBC's coverage tonight has portrayed the situation as a crisis of democracy. Yet this simplifies some key realities about the functioning of these agencies, and the context leading to this point. The idea that a single commissioner could independently compile jobs data is unrealistic given the complexity and scale of the process. These figures are produced by career professionals using sophisticated models and algorithms, which have been developed over decades and largely operate independently of daily political influences. Suggesting otherwise contributes to public confusion. There is room for improvement in MSNBC's accuracy and fact-checking. Their analysis quickly blames the current administration for the turmoil, overlooking years of institutional drift and politicization under the previous Democratic administration. During the tenure of former President Biden and Vice President Harris, there was a noticeable trend of selective transparency and bureaucratic overreach, which has contributed to today's widespread skepticism. Failing to acknowledge this history results in an incomplete narrative for viewers. The network's balance and objectivity are also questionable. MSNBC predominantly features experts who support their editorial stance, rarely including perspectives from the business community or economists who could discuss how policy uncertainty, such as tariffs and labor supply issues, have influenced the weak job numbers. This selective sourcing tends to amplify a crisis narrative rather than providing a balanced view of the economic challenges, including the effects of globalist trade policies and open border labor practices that have impacted American workers for years. MSNBC excels in visual storytelling, with clear and impactful graphics that illustrate market volatility and data revisions. These visuals are often accompanied by alarmist commentary, missing a chance to dig into the technical reasons behind these changes, such as declining survey response rates and the natural volatility in monthly data. A more educational approach would better help viewers understand that even the most reliable statistical systems can experience errors, particularly in a rapidly changing economy. While MSNBC effectively highlights the stakes for institutional credibility, they miss an opportunity to examine the safeguards that ensure data integrity or to discuss potential reforms to protect these processes from political interference. The focus often shifts to personalities and political drama, which may increase viewership, but does little to educate the public on how to rebuild trust in these crucial institutions. A more effective segment would hold both political parties accountable for the erosion of norms, advocate for true transparency in data methodology, and promote reforms that prioritize American sovereignty and worker interests over those of the globalist establishment. The critical discussion should center not just on who occupies the White House, but on how we can maintain the reliability of essential data for all stakeholders.
She's not designing these numbers. And so the question, given that the system spit out that level of jobs, then what is the path going forward if Trump wants better numbers? And you have to hope that people, economists and people who know how important this data is and how it's been developed over a long period of time and relied on over a long period of time, that they will resist any change to manipulation of the numbers. But we'll wait and see. I mean, it's just so typical. It's like, I know better. And it's like, the numbers are the numbers. And he just refuses to accept facts. And he's got to, in my opinion, respond to this in a way that is professional and say, what can I do to change these numbers? Change these numbers going forward by changing his economic policies and not by changing the numbers.
When job numbers are weak, it's not due to a single person manipulating data. It's the outcome of a decades-refined process involving responses from hundreds of thousands of businesses nationwide. These figures, while not flawless, are our best tool for gauging labor market health and are crucial for everything from household budgets to business investment plans. When job creation lags, such as the 73,000 new positions added in July, far below expectations, and with previous months' figures revised downward, the effects are tangible, impacting families, small business owners, and retirees. Policymakers face the immediate challenge of responding constructively. The administration should focus on strengthening economic fundamentals rather than questioning the data's validity. Past tendencies to blame the messenger or alleged data manipulation only distract from necessary policy reforms. Businesses, particularly manufacturers and small firms, already face uncertainty due to shifting tariffs and labor shortages. Consider a household budget where income drops while expenses remain high. Adjustments are essential, just as they are for our economic policies. The numbers expose broader trends. Restrictive immigration policies have tightened labor supply, while new tariffs have increased operational costs, particularly for companies dependent on global supply chains. This has led to hiring freezes and layoffs in sectors like manufacturing and technology, resulting in fewer job opportunities, slower wage growth, and increased economic anxiety for the average American. It's vital to recognize that the integrity of economic data is not a partisan issue. Both political parties have played a role in diminishing trust in these institutions. The solution lies not in political interference, but in enhancing transparency through clearer methodologies, open audits, and robust oversight to keep the data credible and useful for all. Households, investors, and entrepreneurs rely on accurate information to make informed decisions. When the numbers are disappointing, the appropriate response is not to doubt the process, but to consider what policy adjustments are necessary to boost employment. This includes reducing regulatory burdens, revising trade policies that disadvantage domestic producers, and simplifying the expansion and hiring processes for businesses. The previous administration's policies did not adequately support American workers, making the current focus on national sovereignty and job creation a positive shift. The credibility of our economic system hinges on our ability to avoid politicizing data. To restore confidence both domestically and internationally, we must hold all administrations to the same high standards and ensure that agencies like the Bureau of Labor Statistics remain independent, transparent, and accountable. Only then can we trust the statistics that guide our economic decisions and affect every American family and business. Can you believe this? When the government begins to dismiss officials for reporting facts that challenge its narrative, we all lose regardless of which party is in power. Today, it's the labor statistics chief. Tomorrow, it could be anyone who refuses to distort reality for political gain. This erosion of trust in our institutions isn't limited to any one administration. It occurs whenever truth is seen as a threat. We need transparency, not scapegoats. Allowing politicians, whether Republican or Democrat, to manipulate facts undermines the very foundation of our republic. Ask yourself, when did facts become the enemy, and who benefits from their suppression? Be sure to comment below. Give a like and subscribe. This is just the beginning. Stay tuned for the next one.